Marauders came into this one 12-0 and were fresh off a 92-27 win over Nelsonville York 4 days ago. We'll start in the middle of the first quarter as Reed Bernager finds Carson Davis way behind the arc. He swishes it 5-0 Meigs. Marauders on a fast break as Bernager takes it up with one hand and uses the wingspan to lay it in. Fort Frye now getting pressed as Cohen Faust passes out of the double team to Clayton Miller, who fires it into Terry Tompkins. It's 11-4 Meigs. Later in the first, Owen Tracy steps inside the line, and he's able to knock down the pull-up jumper. And it would be Tracy again, this time getting it inside to the big man Davis, who keeps it up high and puts it in for an easy 2. And there goes Davis again with a full head of steam, and he finishes through the foul. He had a big first half. To the second quarter as Kanan Bradford swings to Wyatt Dusky, and he drives and finishes through the trees with the left hand. Cadets down 24-8 as Caden Henniger spots up for a 3 and nails it. Late second quarter now, Clayton Miller, he's going to chuck up a circus shot here and somehow gets it to fall. However, Meigs goes on to stay undefeated with a 59-35 win.